Watch your mouth.
Watch it.
What's the score, Black Lip?
Where my other phone?
7-0, my guy. 7-0.
Who is it?
Detroit. Detroit's playing Green Bay.
No, that's over with.
So while we live now, everybody go ahead and check in.
Check. Mic check.
Check. Can you hear me?
No. Share. That's what I was trying to say. Turn your phones down. Turn everything down. I need to turn mine off. I'm the main one in.
I know. I am a professional, sir. My phone's on silent.
Man,
You the one that be getting caught. So
I heard your football game in the background.
No, you did not. I turned that off. So there.
My bad.
Yeah, it's on mute, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. All right, so if you guys just now checking in, tap in and start sharing. We about to get this show started in a few minutes here. I see Marlon's in the house. What's up, Marlon's in the house?
Marlon, what up?
We definitely gonna have some comments going now.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Shout out Marlon, man.
Hope the minister is ready.
Marlon is
ready.
Marlon has been using the sauce to his advantage.
The sauce,
and even found him a
sauce?
great young lady.
Oh.
Don't put Marlon's business in the street. He ain't asked you that.
I know.
No, he didn't.
All his business out there.
I'm just proud of him. That's all it is.
No, you snitching what you're doing.
I did just tell.
You done told the world.
Hey, Dr. Cotton. Dr. Cotton, this dude dry snitching too.
Yeah, right.
Ain't nobody even mentioned nothing. He just dry snitching.
You know what, Black Liv?
What?
I gotta think about that. You're right.
I know. You know.
Now, 2 minutes, we're gonna get this show started.
My fault, Marlon.
Share with people on your Instagram, share with people on YouTube, share with people on your Facebook. And we're gonna get this show started in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All our illusions will disapparate, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We know.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace.
I love y'all.
What's up to all my peeps out there? It's your boy Fuel in the house.
Fat boy in the building. You already know what type of time we on. We here.
Black lifting the place to be. Let's get it going.
And it's Dr. C, the place to be.
Cotton. That's what's happening. Yeah. Hey, so we got a special show for you guys today. We got a special guest. Make sure I say it right. Karon. Did I say it wrong?
K-Ron.
I gotta make sure I do it right, man.
You did it wrong again.
Yarborough. Well, that's why I asked y'all.
Go phonetic, K-Ron.
But anyway, yes. So and it's interesting. It's gonna be an interesting show, y'all, because we're talking about thirst trap, which I never would imagine that we would have a minister to talk about thirst trap.
I'm happy we do.
I'm
excited.
This is gonna be hot. This is gonna be hot.
Talk about it.
That's right. So just join on in. Don't forget the comments, and we're gonna go ahead and get it started, man. So, and you want to do the introduction, Miss Cotton?
Sure. Let's go. Minister Karon Yarborough, a native of DC, Washingtonian, has a love for people and has been commissioned by God to go and make disciples. She is the biological mother of one adult son and a mother in love and spiritual mother to many. Her passion is for people to have an intimate relationship with God, empowering them to be strengthened in their spiritual walk with Christ, and to be led by the Holy Spirit is part of her mission and purpose in life. She currently serves under the leadership of Pastor R. Kevin Matthews of the Shepherd's House International Christian Church And Minister Karon was the radio talk show host for Growing with Karon on the radio broadcast WBGR that reached people around the globe. She is the published author of the book 21 Day Consecration, set apart for her master's use. Her book can be purchased everywhere books are sold. She is a preacher, a teacher, a motivational speaker, and one of my best friends, Minister Karon Yarborough.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Nice.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
Everybody's excited, but I'm stuck.
Why are you stuck? Look, y'all excited. I'm nervous as hell. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, I gotta keep it up.
So we're talking about thirst trap.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I guess when it comes from the streets, what thirst trap is it the same from the religious aspect as well? Because I've read the Bible, and I'm not really good with scriptures and stuff like that, but there is a story in the Bible, though, to where that's been going on since the day of time that we didn't really recognize or realize or whatever until I started doing a little research, But so, Minister, enlighten us on what is thirst trap in the religious aspect. Or are we even talking about a legend? Does it have to be a religious aspect? Can it be, just thirst trap? It don't have to be
So I came up with the title Thirst Trap years ago when I did a ministry lesson on the woman by the well. And that's found in John, the 4th chapter. And there we talk about the woman by the well, the Samaritan woman who was rejected several times by men, right? And even when she was living with a guy that wasn't her husband. And so Jesus brings that out. But notice the time of the day that she goes to get water from the well. She goes out to get water from the well in the middle of the day instead of the cool of the day, very early in the morning. She chose to go when everybody in the community that was going to get water from the well, she chose to go after everybody had left. Now that is odd because most people don't tend to go out and get get water from the well in the height of the day. It's too hot. Right. And she's walking and she's carrying her bucket, and I'm sure it was of leather type of material. So it's already heavy, and that she has to carry this bucket. But just imagine the stares and the ridicule that she had to endure if she had gone to get water in the beginning of the morning, just like everybody else. Because she was living with somebody that wasn't her husband. That was unheard of. That's something that you weren't supposed to do. And so to avoid the ridicule, the stares, the gossip, and all of that, she decided to avoid them and go in the middle of the day to go to the well. Now, Jesus being who he is, he sends his disciples to go ahead of him. He's traveling, and nobody likes to go to Samaria. This was a place where a lot of pagan religion was happening. Things were not cool. And so the Samaritans had nothing to do with the Jews. However, in this particular case, Jesus being a Jew went to Samaria and sat there. He wanted to have an encounter with her. Okay. And so he sat by the well and he waited until she came, and he asked her a simple question: can you give me something to drink? And she tells him, you don't have anything to get the water from. And so it was against the rules or the guidelines, if you will, in today's terms. It was unheard of for Samaritan people in the Jewish community to interact with one another, right? So while he makes it a point to ask her if she would give him something to drink, she says, what do you have to do with me? Why should I give you anything? We don't have anything to do with each other. We don't even interact. Especially the fact that she's a woman and he's a male, right? However, Jesus brings it to her attention after so much of the dialogue.
Okay.
He says, go and get your husband then. And she says, well, I don't have a husband. And he says, you're right. Because the man that you're living with is not your husband.
Ooh.
And so he starts to tell her about her life.
Yeah.
Now, this woman had already been married 4 times. 4 times. And the one that she was with was not her husband. So that means that she was in a place of fornication or adultery. We don't know his status, but we do know that Jesus made it a point to tell her about herself. When nobody else really addressed her in that way, but they looked at her with disdain, like ridicule. You know, who are you to be mixing with us? You're awful. You're terrible. You know, and whatever they wanted to say about her. And here she is at the well, and this Jesus, this person, a Jew, is having a conversation with her and tells her all about her life.
So is it? Am I echoing? No, I'm good. Okay, I thought I was echoing. In layman's term, when it comes to the word thirst trap with us, because while you was telling me the story, you know, the thing I'm thinking about is, what did she have on, or how was she? You know, what was her? You know, attraction for people to, you know, even like you said, as Jesus was talking to her, whatever, you know, was she dressed provocative? Was she's, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background, because the other part of this is that when we do the research, the well was a meeting place. People met and congregated with one another. They had conversations. And so she may have met him at that well. She could very well have been. But the point of the matter is that she was living with this guy. And because Jesus knew her real thirst, her real hunger, and this is where we come with the thirst trap. She was doing what she needed to do to sustain, but he wasn't. Where was he? Where he should have been the one going and getting water.
Exactly.
She's out getting water.
So
right?
is it like he kind of like?
Wait a minute. Let me put a pause.
I want to say.
Let her bring it home.
Hold on.
Okay.
So the thing is this, and we have to bring it to this part of the narrative. First and foremost, she was living with a guy who was considered to be the 5th husband, right? But he really wasn't her husband. What happened to the other 4? What happened to the other 4 men? Why did she venture out to get another man, which would be the 5th husband, if he married her, if he chose to marry her? So what I'm saying to you is that a lot of people, through their traumatic experience, after being rejected over and over and over again, these men that she married, that she trusted, that she thought would be the person who would be committed to her for the rest of her life, that man that she relied on to be supportive of her, to take care of her, they all rejected her. Think about that part, right? And now here she is with a 5th man, and he's not even carrying the pail to get water for her. She's having to do it for herself. So what does that mean? That means that she's doing whatever she can to try to keep the man.
Right.
And exactly. And so there's some trauma there. There's some rejection and abandonment that she's had to endure.
To endure from the first 3 or the first 4.
The first 4, right? And so with Jesus saying that this is not your husband, he brings up that question to make her say that he's, you know, that she doesn't have a husband. He already knows. He already knows her life. He already knows her situation, but he wants to bring it a point to her to the forefront so that he can help her to be delivered and healed from the thing that she really thirsts for. It's not the water.
It's the love.
He was hungry and thirsty for love,
right.
and affirmation.
Got it.
And that's what many of us do today. To see, there's no real things that it hasn't already happened, you know, in biblical times and this day. The devil don't have no new tricks.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that the enemy plays on your emotions,
True. Absolutely.
your trauma, your trauma triggers,
Definitely your trauma, yes.
and the things that you have been disappointed in, the betrayal and all of the trust that was given to a person. He uses all of those things to trap you and ensnare you into ungodly soul ties.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Woo. I like
I'm gonna let you pause on that one right there.
I'll let y'all go. Fat boy, you got what you got? What you got?
Oh, you gonna throw me in a ring?
Yes, sir.
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
You see that, Black Liv? It's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still processing everything that was said.
I know it was a lot, so just take a minute to think about it, because the thing is this: a lot of times we think of women as being thirsty, but no, it's a spirit.
It's the spirit.
It's a familiar spirit. It's a familiar spirit. If you think about some of the things that people have endured in their life and they're going through right now, those things come from previous relationships and previous brokenness. All of those things that they call them generational curses, but they're really familiar spirits that have traveled through your bloodline, your family bloodline, and it attacks where you're vulnerable. And so you see the same cycle over and over again.
I literally, it's funny. I literally just had this discussion with my therapist today, because I came to a realization, just me and women, right? And the thirst, right? And so I think that one, I wanted to say that it's immediately you think women, but I think men deal with this a lot, right? Due to abandonment issues with mothers, due to traumatic experience with relationships and things like that. And so you don't really actually connect it with a thirst for love. You just think I'm being a player, or you don't connect it with soul ties and things like that. It's just that I'm being a man. But I think that as you start to become cognitive, like as I am today, right, as we start to unpack things, we start to say, okay, well, I'm really thirsting for love. I'm really thirsting for intimacy that was lacked as a child, or I'm really thirsting for a level of validation. And then we have to always ask ourselves is where do we find the level of worth within ourselves, right? Before we start to thirst for someone else. And like my therapist said, when you're starting to crave something, it's because you're lacking it. It's something that's taking away from you, right? And so I think that as a man, I deal with this all the time, right? Because my flesh is weak, and
I said that.
There you go.
But getting the understanding what that means, though, and understanding that it comes with a craving. It comes with a lack of security within self, right? And so when you start to unpack that as a man, it's a huge blow. And it's crazy that this is what this is about today, because that's what my day was about. And that's just how the full circle in God works sometimes. That's what I have. Was that all right?
That's all
Did
right.
I do all right?
That's all right.
All right.
Transparency is key to deliverance.
Yes,
you have to be honest and true about what your situation is in order for the. So, for instance, if you go to the doctor and you say, "Doctor, I hurt," but you never pinpoint the pain, or you never tell him what kind of pain you're having. Is it his responsibility to heal you of whatever it is that's happening with you? Or is it your responsibility to tell him not only do you hurt, but the location where you hurt,
right,
and what happened to you, right? And so that he can better diagnose the problem and help to heal the issue. If you just say, "Oh yeah, I'm just out here, I want to be loved," but you never addressed your trauma. What are you doing? You're putting a Band-Aid on it, but it doesn't heal you. Right. And so that's what a lot of people do. This is men and women, because it's a spirit. And that's demonic spirit plays on your emotions, your trauma, your brokenness. He plays on every area that he can feel like he has domination of in your life. And it's an unfamiliar spirit that feels like he has the right. Because when you don't repent and you don't ask for God for forgiveness of the things that you do, that's an open door for the enemy to come and attack you. And so when I say that the thirst trap, I call it the thirst trap because when I was dealing with the woman by the well, and I was my ministry was really it was to the point where men were coming in and was like, I never heard of this. I got to now it makes sense to me why I do what you do. Yeah, if you as men, let me go to this direction because a lot of people again they think that women are the ones that's trying to trap men, but it's men too. A lot of times men were raised to say, don't you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare cry. And if you fight, you better win.
Yeah.
They don't tell the boys it's okay to lose every now and then.
Right.
It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to cry. So what happens to all of this emotion? You bottle them up inside. And then eventually you're going that emotion that you could not release while you were a child, it's eventually going to show up. And it's going to manifest itself in the wrong way. Why? Because it was never dealt with as a child. So whenever you have a void, you have to go back and find out what is the root issue. Why do I do this? What happened to me as a child that now I'm an adult man, but still having this thing with childlikeness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So
I like
you now
the
become a man you're a child but with an adult body.
right.
Because you get stuck in that place where you never been healed. There was trauma there, but nobody took care of healing that area.
Right.
And so now it manifests in different ways. And a lot of times it comes that people think that you can fill that void with sex, drinking, having drugs. The thirst trap is not just so much as having ungodly relationships, but it can trap you and snare you into destroying you because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And you better know that you have a purpose in your life, and so he wants to destroy you and kill you before you can reach your destiny.
Yeah. I like the doctor the analogy that you just used because it's a true fact that like you said, if you don't tell them what it is that's hurting, they're just going to give you what they think can help you. You know what I mean? So if you put that in a relationship, you don't tell that person what's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? Then that other person is going to be trying to fix you or try to give you this or try to do that when actually they don't really know what you need.
Exactly.
So I like that.
Yeah, and so in that soul tie, because a lot of times people qualify it or quantify it as relationships that feels like, oh, I want to be affirmed. Oh, I have an attaboy. I got to have that word of affirmation every day. I got to have you giving me attaboys and telling me how good I look. And, you didn't compliment me today, but I complimented you every other day.
Right.
Right. Or you didn't tell me how handsome I was. Well, now I go to work, and now this woman who even noticed that I had on some brand new shoes. Now she's giving me attention where you're not giving me attention, and so now she's my work wife. Where she shouldn't be anything of that sort, because a wife means covenant relationship, and your words have power. And so when you saying you have a work wife, when you got a perfectly good wife at home, you're now committing adultery by the words that you speak.
Yeah.
The emotion that you tie to that woman who's not your wife, she didn't stand at the altar of exchange and commit any vow to you, but you're now saying, because you've given me some attention, I'm willing to risk my soul. The devil is a liar.
That part.
That's where the trap is. It's the snaring of the enemy to get you to do the things that is not of God.
Let's get to some of these comments real quick. Gilles, welcome back.
You want to go to the top?
Yeah, go to the top. Let's go to the top first, and we just go down. What? Oh, okay. Okay, so Marlon says, "Man, I'm out here living good life, blessed, black, and highly favored." Grow up, Marlon. John says, "Looking forward to the shows. The first time tuning in. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, welcome,
brother. Welcome. Michelle Kelly, and then I'm gonna let y'all take the rest. Michelle Kelly Leatherman says, "I don't know what thirst trap is, but I will listen and learn. Let's get it."
Hey, Michelle.
It is Iman.
Iman.
That's
Iman.
Aman.
look, that's like a lady.
Yeah, Aman says, what is a thirst trap, stalkers? And I think we've already addressed that. But
Yeah.
moving on. Neri Reed said, wow.
Mhm.
Iman, that's good. Jill says, every little thing just wants to be loved.
And I gotta give a clap for Jill. You know, we gotta show her some love, man. For real, for real.
Yeah.
Always show us love, man. Welcome home, y'all. For real, for real. Thank you. I just want to do that. Yeah. Let's get it.
And Iman says, yes, words have power. Needing this.
Yeah, facts. Before Dr. Cotton and Black Liv jump in there, because I'm gonna let y'all take it over. I definitely wanted to give you kudos for throwing us all off by a loop, right? Because we didn't know where you were going with it. But I love the way that you brought it back in, because the trap is not necessarily sexual ties, right? It can be what I've learned today. What I learned is distractions, right? Sometimes we use these connections to distract us from our true purpose because we have not had the time to actually process and unpack the things of the past. And so what I wanted to say, what I've learned today is that it's okay and it's good and it's great to reflect, but it's better. However, you need to proactively process your trauma, right? Proactively, meaning you got to get ahead of it. Because you don't really realize how things from your childhood that you thought that you suppressed, or things from 20 years ago you thought you suppressed, it shows up in your behaviors, right? We're not even talking about relationship. We're just talking about the individual's behaviors, right?
Yeah.
I think that you don't realize that you're trauma bonding because you have not unpacked your trauma, right? You don't realize that you're thirsty or craving for something because you haven't addressed these things. And so I love the title, and that's dope. Yeah. Dr. C.
So one of the things is that we have to always understand that whenever you're connected to someone and they are not your husband or your wife, you have to do a great job at removing and denouncing and repenting for what you've done.
It's renounce. Exactly.
And repenting for what you've done, because at the end of the day, when they walk away, they left the bodies behind. See, they're free and clear physically, but the body count that was on them is now on you. So when you're wrestling with why or how to get rid of something, or why you having a hard time with things and you can't move forward, it's because the body count has just gotten added to you. And now you don't just have the stuff you have, but you got the stuff they left. So you have to learn how to, everybody wants to be loved, yes. But love does not always mean that you have to intertwine with the person in order to feel that. You have to be able to connect to a person mentally. You got to be able to connect to a person spiritually. You got to be able to connect with a person and sometimes just be friends. Because you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes we jump into stuff and we're thinking, oh, the package is so wonderful. Man, it looks so good. But then when you unwrap the package, it's jacked up. Now you don't unwrap the package. It may be spoiled. It may be rotten. There may be things that you didn't think you would have to address or deal with is in there, and you're not ready for that. You're not equipped for that. We're not equipped for everybody. So what you have to do, sometimes you got to say, hey, that's a good guy or good dude, but you know what? That ain't the guy or dude for me, or that's not the girl or woman for me. Right. And it's okay, because at the end of the day, I always tell somebody or tell people, what is the lesson that you got from it? It could be a hot second that you hanging with that person, but are they dropping nuggets? Like, are they leaving you with something to think about when they walk away? And if you're not getting anything, even in the time that you're interacting, then you're wasting time.
Yeah.
Never be thirsty enough that you're drinking bad water, because the water is brown, but they telling you it's clear. They say it has flavor and you have no taste. So you got to be careful about how you're looking and dealing with relationships with people. And it ain't about in a relationship, but even people you call your friends can have really hard soul ties to you just for nothing. So you got to realize that, hey, I have to be able to move on, and then moving on, I got to be okay that if some people not going with me, And I'm good with that. You know, and when you're good with you, because again, this is really about you loving you.
Individualism right here.
Yeah. It's about you loving you. And when you love you, you don't care about all the other stuff. You give what you have inside of you. So if I can't give out love, that means I don't have any inside for myself. When I'm giving out love, I can give it freely because I've been filled up with love. So I love the HE double hockey sticks out of myself. So I don't have to worry about how another person feels about me. I can just move on and do what I got to do. And that's the one thing, you know, we talk about this. We did on her show, and we talked about thirsty men and thirsty women.
Yeah.
How that affects, you know, because people are affected by that all the time, always trying to go to the well, get a drink.
Yeah.
And they at the well trying to drink, and then there's stuff that they forgot that they already had, and then something else come along, and you think that something else is better than what you got.
Drink again.
Yeah.
Drink again though.
Black Lip has been so quiet.
Yeah, Black Lip over there processing everything.
He got a lot to say. He got a lot to say.
No, so yeah, no. My so minister, my thing is, you know, what you said was prophetic. And it's what I tell people all the time. And we've had shows about this in the past.
All the time.
And Fat Boy can attest to what I've always said about people is that part of the issues that we have as human beings, especially being in our diaspora, is the fact that we don't deal with our trauma. Okay. We don't deal well. And especially like you said, as men, because men that are afraid to cry, they're afraid to tell another man that they love them or something like that because of the trauma that they have. And one of the things that I've talked to Fat Boy a lot, and we've talked about this a lot, is that there are so many people that are thirsting for a relationship. They don't understand that if you're not a good single person, you're going to make a terrible couple.
No, for real.
That's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
if you don't heal yourself of the PTSD that you grew up with, or the stuff that you had with other relationships, everybody's these kids trying to rush into these relationships and all this stuff, but they got PTSD. They got issues that they have, the trauma that they carry forward. And until you deal with that, and if you're not a good single, you'll make a terrible couple.
Right. So let me address that, because a lot of times people today are really, if you go on these lives on TikTok, a lot of times they're coming on, they're talking about building relationships. You got Latirius, you know, he's talking about, you know, finding his wifey, you know what I mean? And so one of the things that people don't realize is this: the enemy comes in to attack you when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're weak, when you're sick, and you feel vulnerable. So when you're in a position where you feel like, I just want a man, I just want a woman, you leave yourself open to be ensnared by the devil. And he will give you that narcissistic person who will love bomb you. What else they did? They love bomb and
they go overboard trying to
they're trying to please you.
Do everything.
Exactly. And what you don't realize is that that person is a setup to trap you to be attached to the accursed thing.
Yeah, and I've been set up. Man. I've been set up.
So when I say accursed thing, that person is, they're attaching themselves to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And what they do is my hair is locked, but I'm gonna braid it because I want to give this example. When you take a braid, you have 3 strands of hair, right? And you braid it and you intertwine each one so that it becomes a braid. Now, the middle part and the ends on the right and the left are twined with that middle part.
Right.
When you get to a certain point, you can't see which started and which did not. You can't tell, right? This is what happens when you get into those relationships. The enemy comes in, it is you, that person, and the enemy. And you become so entwined together that you can't tell who you are from that other person that you now become entwined with, right? that person now has access to you
Mm.
in such a way that if your bank account is fat, you live in large, you got, a nice ride, you got a nice apartment or home, all of these things. Well, that person that is now being attached to you doesn't have that type of favor.
Mm.
So who sent them?
Mm.
The devil. And
Mhm.
the reason why he's attaching himself to you is because he wants to steal, kill, and destroy. And what happens is when you intertwine with that person, you start to see your bank account deplete.
Yeah.
No, for real.
You start seeing opposition coming your way all the time, even from your job.
Yeah.
Some people 401k is depleted, no longer have that. You lost your car because now you lost your job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that person who came in with nothing, the enemy uses that person to distract you, to take away everything that
That's
you've
what they usually
established.
do.
And that's true facts, and it has happened to me. You know what I mean? To the point where I paid more attention to this person where I wasn't paying attention to my finances. I wasn't paying attention like I should have. And of course, when everything depleted or whatever is when the bell went off. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically is just what you just said. Is just a true fact that you can get caught up in which I would call it thirst trap. You get caught up or whatever in the distractions.
There you go.
All it really is. It's just distractions for them.
Yeah, and then and whether it's and sometimes we look at things in the wrong way. Just because she was beautiful or nice body and had a little something going on for themselves, whatever. But taking me more out of character to who I am and who I was. You know what I'm saying? Was the problem that I had to realize which I didn't realize till the end. Like, dang, this ain't really good,
Right. So what happened was you saw the flags.
Right.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You saw the flags, but you saw the red flags, but you chose to put your shades on.
That part.
You ignored them, yeah.
That part.
Ignored them.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and so you became ensnared. You became ensnared, and that's the trap.
Yeah. And then the other thing was too is because of the person that I am, sometimes you think that because of the person you are, that person is going to gravitate to what you do and how you feel. You know what I mean? And
that's the very thing that they use to grab a hold of you, because they saw that you're vulnerable in that area, and that was the very thing. Now, this is the question that I have for you, and I'm not putting you on blast. I just want to make you think about it for yourself.
We always put them on blast. Go ahead.
Well, this is for anybody that can answer the question. Okay. But what was it that made you be so nice? I can almost tell you what it was, but go ahead. You tell me, what was it? What is it that made you so nice to the point which you were willing to give her any and everything, and you became entangled with this woman for a period of time, or however long it took you to lose everything that you had before you came to yourself?
You already know that thirst was real.
It was real.
Yeah, but there was some reason why he became so nice and vulnerable to her. What was it for you?
For me, and I'll let you guys go, but for me, it was like I said, I had the mentally, I'm thinking that the person I am as compared to like conversations that we had and the person, how people had treated her before, that I was better than that person.
You thought you could fix her.
Right, that she would see that, okay, this is what a real man should be like. This is what a real man should. This is how you should be treated or whatever. But yet, come to find out, it really wasn't the man. It was her.
Right.
It's just like I said before. That's what it comes down to. You were not healed from your past trauma.
Yeah. There you go.
You were not healed, and you were never healed, which goes back to what I said. If you're not a good single, you will not be a good couple.
Yeah, because really and truly, I can almost pinpoint there was a level of rejection and abandonment in your life.
In my life?
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
everybody deals with it though.
I mean, the only level of rejection and abandonment in my life is just my mom passed when I was 12, so I never really
you go
what a real You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
So you see,
But level, it doesn't
No.
matter
That's still
how
trauma.
it happened. It happened.
It happened.
And so because it happened, one of the manifestations of rejection and abandonment is people pleasing
Yeah.
Mm,
and trying to fix what has been hurt for them.
mm,
Because you in your mind subconsciously you're trying to heal her hurt, but you haven't even healed yourself.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
So somebody should have put you in therapy at that
Mhm.
age, at 12 years old. Somebody should have put you in therapy to tell you that it's okay, that life happens, such as everybody that lives has to die one day.
Right.
Yeah.
And she didn't leave you or abandon you. It was just that it was her time to leave.
Right.
I think that because we even seen it here, like it's funny when it come with men with our with our emotions and talking about them. Like even right here, it's like a big with fuel. It's like that's a traumatic experience for a man, right? But when it began, when it was time for him to unpack it, just like in real time, he almost wanted to minimize it, right?
Yeah.
Then because it goes back to what you were saying, we were taught that we don't have that emotions, and I wanted to address that because I deal with that every week in therapy, right?
Yeah.
As we start to talk about certain things, you're like, well, it ain't really, and then when you start, it is that, right? It is my mom, it is these things.
Right.
I think as men, it's hard for us to talk about that because we've been programmed to think that it doesn't matter or it did not have
That's not the impact that
the severity of the impact wasn't there,
Right.
but it's there and it leads to your decision making. And the reason why you do things, and like Black Lift said, Black Lift coached me off the ledge, you know, after I got out of my last relationship, and a huge part of that was part of why I will reach my emotional capacity and react the way that I did, but then also part of the reason why I allowed certain things to go on as well, because I was still seeking for a level of acceptance, a form of intimacy. And we talked about this a lot. And at the time, I didn't really understand that, right? But as I started to unpack things and break down me, right, and the things that are going through, and realize the things that we make so small as men are really big deal. It's
Mhm.
deal to the way that we navigate in this journey called life. And I to any man that's watching, we all do what Fuel just did, right? And that's why I wanted to point it out. We all do that. And I love the fact that that's his cousin, right? And he was like, well, nah, right? Because it takes another man to hold you accountable for that and to create that space. So you can be like, hey, bro, I am going through these things. I'm unpacking these things. I miss this woman, or I'm hurt that my mother is not here. You need to be able to unpack those things, because if not, you're going to carry it on to a person who don't deserve the energy, and who also just doesn't know what you've been through. So I think that is very important, as the doc said, as the minister said, as Black Lift said, to address your traumas early. You feel and really get a hold of who you are and be confident in who you are, but without being courageous enough to know yourself, you will never be courageous enough to love anyone else. And
Right. And so like for me, Fuel knows, okay, like for me, so part of my probably my number one trauma was the fact that my father was a hoe. I mean, when I tell you my dad, he had women all over Kansas City. He used to he hit my mom, you know, he did all this other stuff. And so part of my trauma, what I had to go through is I had to realize that when you're growing up like that, you have two choices. You can either be the exact same of your parent, or you can be the exact opposite. So what I chose was to be the exact opposite. Now, was that good? No. Because just like the minister said, what happened to me is I stayed in a terrible marriage for 29 years. Terrible. One I should have got out of probably after 10, if that long. But because I wanted to prove that I was better than my father, that was the trauma that hit me. And that's what made me just stay and just take abuse after abuse after abuse. But once I came over that and I figured out, and trust me, you got to be honest with yourself. I did some shitty things too.
Absolutely.
And so, you have to confess to what you did. So I don't blame her. I blame me too. But that was part of my healing, that I have to understand that, okay, I should have got out a long time ago, but I did some dirt too. But, and now I'm in my second marriage and it's great. But once again, I stayed in a terrible relationship for 29 years.
Yeah. What you gonna say, Minister?
My question to you is, why did you choose her from the start?
Why did you choose her from the start?
The first one.
So for me, it was that trauma, because I felt like, so when I met her, she had a 6-month-old child.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I always wanted a family. Even when I was a little kid, I always knew I wanted kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I got married at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so she had a child. And honestly, I felt like, you have to say I did love her. You know what I mean? And I still love her to this day. I have love for her because she's the mother of my children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna hate her or nothing like that. That's stupid. That's not where it is. But so I kind of felt like I could save her.
Same.
Yeah.
I felt like I could save her.
But it came from your childhood.
Yeah.
Seeing
my trauma.
Seeing the way that your father treated your mom, you felt like you couldn't save your mom. You couldn't help your mom.
Yes.
So you could save her. See, it all goes down to a root issue.
Yes,
and a lot of times we try to avoid that because it hurts too much to revisit and you get stuck in that place.
Oh yeah.
And so I want to bring out a point, and this is in John 4, starting at verse 16. It said, Jesus said to her, "Go, call your husband and come here." The woman answered and said, "I have no husband." Jesus said to her, You have said well, you have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands. 5 husbands, and I misquoted earlier. I said 4, but it was 5. She had 5 husbands. He says, and the one to whom you're now with is not your husband, and you spoke truly. And so the woman said to him, listen to her response. "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worship on this mountain, and you Jews say that Jerusalem is the place where one ought to worship." You see how she diverted his comment, his question? She don't want to deal with it. She gave him a question to divert him from the original question, where's your husband? And then go get your husband.
Yeah.
Now I perceive that you are a prophet, and we're worshiping. Ain't got nothing to do with what he asked her.
Exactly.
She wanted to avoid the question because she didn't want him to know about her past and the trauma. However, with her not addressing it, he brought it back to her. See, when Jesus is having a conversation with you, he's only going to ask you a question to bring it forth so that you recognize. He already knows the answer. He already knows the answer, but he wants to ask you the question so that you have an open dialogue with him, and so that you and him can kind of converse about what's really happening. So he told her the truth about her life and the reason why she's sleeping with this other man. He's probably telling her, I saw that you were rejected. I know that you trusted him. I know he didn't come in here with true motives. I know that he thought that he was going to do X, Y, Z. I know he said he was committed to doing this, that, and the third. But this is the thing, my beloved daughter. If you give me some water to drink, I will give you something that will cause you to never have to thirst again. Because I'm going to fill that void in your life. See, one of the key things about this is, in order for you to get healed and delivered, you have to be transparent. Because when you cover up, the enemy was going to use that thing to keep working you and working you and working you.
Right.
When you become transparent and expose the enemy and the things that he's done, the healing can begin, and then you can move on and do the things that God really called you to do.
Right. Right.
So after that dialogue, she left the bucket, forgot all about the point that she came to get water. She went to the village and ministered to the very ones that ridiculed her, that talked bad about her. She went out and ministered to them.
Mm-hmm.
Come see a man. Come see a
Right.
man that told me everything that I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
He told me everything. And so she was free. She was free to do what God called her to do. It was to evangelize.
Mm-hmm.
Allow God to use your testimony, the test of your life, to be a testimony. Allow him to use your mess as a message
Right.
to draw other people to Christ.
Right.
Because really, at the end of the day, it's your heart that God really wants.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is craving for your heart. This woman is pulling for your heart. That job is pulling for your heart. Somebody wants to make you loyal to them. Somebody else wants you to be committed to them. You know, it's always somebody wanting and pulling and diving for you, and you giving it to them because you're not healed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that is the trap. And people don't realize it.
Right.
You've been ensnared by the enemy and being trapped into his game to try to kill, steal, and destroy you. God has a purpose for your life.
Mhm.
He created you with a thought in mind. And the very thing that he created you to do, it shall be fulfilled, but you have to be healed and delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Jeremiah, he told Jeremiah was a young boy, and he said God called him to be a prophet, but he said, I don't want to do this. I mean, these people, you know, I got to be talking to people like these grown folk. And God said to him, do not say that you're but a youth. He said, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you and ordained you to be a prophet to the nations.
Mhm.
That means that your spirit has, because we are spirit first, we have a soul and we live in a body, right? Your spirit has had intimate relationship with God. And when he formed you in your mother's womb, before your mother even thought about you, he had already has a plan and a purpose for your life to reach your destiny. The enemy comes in to try to thwart that plan, to kill your destiny, to destroy your purpose. And so it makes you think that how your life is how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Not so, because Romans 8:28 said all things together, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to the purpose. And it further goes on to in 29, he says, and those who he predestined, he foreknew.
Yeah.
And so even the things that the enemy tries to snare you in and trap you in to keep you from your destiny, God is saying, I already called you to be this person or that person. And I'm going to use all the things, because he doesn't waste nothing. I'm going to use all of your experiences to make you even better and stronger to tear down the kingdom of darkness.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
y'all. There you
So
go.
there you
Let's
go.
get
There you go. Yeah.
So with that, all that said, because we are
we got to
running
go to
short on
Black
time.
History, Black
Yeah,
Museum.
yeah. So, Minister, let's just break it down to today's terms in life, as you know, as because right now we have, you know, social media is really the thirst trap of the day. You know,
Well,
of the
that
time.
is the snare. That's the snare
Exactly,
to get
that's
you
the
in, to
snare.
pull you in. And a
Yeah,
lot of times that is the distraction that the enemy uses
right,
to
exactly.
cause you to be snared into the trap, because you're
So
not trapped until you get into that area where he wants you.
right. So what would you advise as you know a minister, you know, just basically seeing this type of things going on or whatever? What would you advise, you know, people to do? Because, you know, I mean, I mean, we can simply say just quit watching social media but it's everywhere. It's on
No,
TV, it's on social media, it's where, you know,
it's
we can't
everywhere.
really do that. So how do one go and seek within themselves as
Mhm.
to shine or getting away from these thirst traps that we're speaking of?
Well, first of all, you have to acknowledge that you are thirsty. You're thirsty for something. But you also have to realize that you have some issues that need to be addressed. And I recommend therapy. Like the young man said that he went to therapy today and he realized that some of the things that he was the therapist was saying to him was basically some of the same things that I'm saying to you all now, right? The other part of that is not only to go to therapy, but go to a Bible teaching church so that you can hear the word and be delivered fully, because it's not just your soul and your mind, but it's your spirit as well. A lot of times people are, what
Sorry.
happened?
So you have a lot of people in the day that doesn't go to church, that doesn't believe in certain religions and stuff like that, or whatever the case would be. So how would you go without having to, because is there, I guess the question is there other ways for them to, besides just therapy, to heal themselves or whatever?
Well, they can't. That
I mean,
one thing I'm gonna say for certain, and two things for sure: you can never heal yourself, because if that
it's true.
was the case, you would have been healed already.
Absolutely.
God, Jesus, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, they are the ones that heal you. He is called Jehovah Rapha, the God that heals. Okay, and then the third thing is, if you don't have a core value within your life, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
You have to believe in something.
True.
And why not believe the truth? The truth of life is the word of God. He said, Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through me.
Yeah.
So you have, and of course, he said it to the woman by the well. I am the thirst. I'm the water. I'm the one that's going to give you that thirst, that thirst that you crave. Once you drink of me, once you learn of me, you'll never thirst again.
I like
mean, there's a lot of other religions out there, yeah, but I can only speak for the one that I know of.
Right. I like the fact of what you just said, what I'm saying, if you're gonna believe in something, believe the truth. And that's because all goes on in social media is lies. Everyone, has, of course, opinions about relationships and whatever, but then, like you said, it's a lot of them that don't look within themselves. You have people giving advice that doesn't have a relationship for themselves, what I mean, because they haven't looked in themselves to accomplish a relationship or whatever. So on that note, man, I mean,
one more time.
Mom said, thirsty for something, which is God. Living water that drink and never thirst.
That you drink and never thirst.
Yes. Living water that you drink and never thirst. So, yes. We're gonna actually, man. Everybody,
you're mumbling.
He's stuck right now. He's stuck.
Yeah, you done got Phil stuck. He's stuck.
No, I get like that because I've received the words that she says. That she's been talking, the conversation that we're having. I receive it. I get it. I just want to hopefully that the viewers, listeners, get it as well. You know what I mean? I think this is a great conversation, and something that we always have to bring back at times because we don't talk enough about it. You know what I mean? Rather, and not to say, oh, we got to be extra gospel or we got to be extra religion and all this type of stuff. No. But it's the realness and the truth. You know what I mean? And that's where we have to get at, and that's what we got to constantly, have on our show from time to time. You know what I mean?
You already know I'm not religious at all, but I'm still open to hearing the minister's word.
Exactly.
And what she said is good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Indeed. So hopefully we can have you on again sometimes.
Yes.
And we appreciate you coming on. We got a little history of blackness coming
we got
up.
One more topic,
and then we got another topic. And then
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying because both of you were talking at the same time. Say that again for me.
No, so we have history of blackness coming up, and then we have another topic. So if you like to stay, just stay in the box over here, and we'll bring you back in on that topic if you like. But if not, then we appreciate you coming in and sharing us, giving us your blessings and everything for the show. Anything else, Rhonda? You got anything?
No, this is good. This is the conversations me and her have all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we do. And in fact, we were talking about the thirst trap, and she said, I gotta get you on the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey Ron, you have to be on the show.
Right.
talk about it because
You
it's
gotta
so
you gotta quench Phil's thirst.
Go ahead.
yeah.
Shut up,
But it's,
man.
I think the thing is this. I think a lot of people take it that when you say a minister or a reverend or a bishop and they're coming on and they're going to talk about something that they don't quite understand what it is, people get scared,
Mhm.
and they think it's about to be very preachy. But
Right.
the reality is we're all human.
Mhm.
Human, that's all we are. We're flesh.
Mhm.
And we all have fallen short. So the fact that we can have this conversation is because we all have fallen short. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has done the best of anything. And if you're not healed and you don't know that you're not, and you're not healed, then you got to figure out what is it in me that keeps making me receive or get the wrong thing when it comes to men and women. And a lot of that is still hanging on to your past, hanging on to the things. And I love, Phil, that you were open and honest tonight about when she pointed that out in regards at the age of 12. What men and women don't realize, a lot of times our very first pain that we ever receive and we get hurt from is a child.
Yes,
So from our childhood is when the first affliction happens. And if nobody ever addresses that first affliction, it just goes with you as you grow. And you're 99 and you still living like you 14.
Right.
Why? Because that is sitting there, and it's nobody's problem or fault of anyone. It is just that nobody took the time to understand that, hey, they just went through a traumatic situation. I need to get them some help. I need to make sure they're good. I need to know that when they walk away and as they're getting older, a person misses their mother as a child. That's the first woman you ever love.
Exactly.
I don't
that's
care.
your first love.
That's the first love
Yeah,
you
that's your
ever
first
had.
love.
And when she's not there to watch you grow up and be this man and speak life into you and assure you of who you are and tell you life is going to be good even when the people around you are horrible, guess what? You're missing a lot of things that other people and your friends are getting, but you don't have that. So you got to get a little piece from grandma, a little piece from my aunt, a little piece from my cousin. But you don't have the person that first loved you, the one that carried you for 9 months, the one that worked you out, the one that went through the pain. And then when she went through the pain, she still was feeling good enough to make sure she took care of you. So that's not a small thing, but I think people have to realize when you lose your parent at a young age, when you lose your parent in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the loss of your parent hits you hard because that's the person that said, no matter what, I didn't abort you. I didn't take and be crazy about you. I didn't do anything. I allowed myself to give you life. And when I allow myself to give you life, that means you were supposed to be here to do whatever you were supposed to do, even after I'm gone.
Exactly.
So the fact that you open up is great because there's a lot of men that won't do that. They will not address the things that cause them pain at a young age. So they grow up and acting like, oh, I'm good, I'm tough, I got it going on. No, you still jacked up because the way you act, anybody around me, especially men, and me and Karon talk about this, I know and I can pinpoint where them dudes got jacked up and never got healed. But they would sit in my face and say, oh, I'm good. No, you're not. Because if I can pick it up in the spirit that you jacked up and you still need to address some things, and the way you act, the way you talk, how you handle people shows me, oh yeah, they still got things going on. Healing is not a one-time thing. Healing is a continual thing. You got to continually go through healing. You can't just do it one time and think it's okay. Oh, I'm good. No, you're not good. You got to continue to get healed.
But what people understand also is that back then, when we were younger, counseling is not where it is today.
No, it wasn't.
So the thing is that fuel that happened to him, we wouldn't have been able to get counseling back then.
True.
That
No, but
that
and
that
especially
that
now
wasn't
he's
even going to
old.
happen. But the thing is that now that he's an adult, he's acknowledging
Yeah.
the fact that hurt him to the core.
Yeah.
And now, in today's society, you can get the healing, you can get the counseling, the spiritual healing and stuff like that you need that you couldn't have got back then.
Right.
It's okay for you, just like we say, it's okay for you to cry today. It's okay for you to tell another brother you love him. It's okay for that stuff. Back then, you would have been soft, weak, blah, 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 whatever. But like you said, we have to overcome that trauma, which is what we try to do here on this show.
Yes.
Is tell people and educate them that there is help available. There's spiritual help. There's mental help. You know what I mean? There are ways to get through these things, but you have to be adult enough to ask for that help.
Yep, exactly.
Don't feel like you're weak because you ask for help.
All right, man. See what you started. See what you started, Minister. Hey.
So you all thought I was coming from a place of the street urban talk, right?
No,
no.
I didn't get that off you. No.
I was still where we was going with. I think it was a great.
No,
it was.
It's definitely
but
yes,
it's the same
because
thing,
it's kind of using the biblical sense of things that happen in, like I said, in the day since the day of time that we're still going through. But sometimes, like you said, if you don't have those conversations, if you're not understanding that this is things that basically that needs healing going forward or whatever that's been going on, years back, that type of thing. And
you can't fix a problem that you don't admit to.
Exactly. And sometimes you have to have someone like a minister that basically has studied and know the word, like they know it or whatever, to kind of bring it forth and recognize, because with me, I'm kind of like, oh shoot, okay,
that makes sense.
That makes sense,
Most
and this, and this is going on through history, through generations. So so like I said, commend you, minister, for coming in and helping us out, giving us. And like I said, if you want to stay in, before we leave, or before you leave, if you leave, we have our information. You guys see it, just scrolling down at the bottom. But is there anything else that you want to, before we leave, before you get out of here?
Well, I really do, and this is my heart's passion, is to pray, and so I'm going to be praying for you guys and praying for those that are listening, that the Lord will bless and keep you. But not only that God will give you the healing and deliverance that you need, because He says in His Word, He is the God of comfort, all comforts, and He heals the brokenhearted and He bandages their wounds. And so, whatever you confess to God, allow Him to know where it hurts. Don't just say, "Okay, God, I hurt," but tell Him exactly where you hurt. Tell Him exactly what hurts you, how it hurts you, so that He can then do what He needs to do, because what you don't display, the enemy will play.
Right.
And God don't play about His children. The Bible says it's better for you to take a noose and put it around your neck and sink your seed in the sea before you bother the least of His little ones. Guess what? We are His little ones. Exactly. He don't play about you.
Exactly.
So just go back and ask the Lord to be transparent in your private time.
Exactly.
God, this hurt me. God, this woman hurt me. God, my losing my mother at a young age, that really hurt me. That caused some issues in my life. God, I was so weak because I thought I could defend my mother. I married this woman and stayed in this relationship for years, and that was time wasted. But God, I know that you're going to use it to bless me in spite of, whatever your issues are, bring it to Him.
Oh yeah.
So because He's going to ask you the question. Now that you know, there's going to be some times when He's going to ask you the question, where does it hurt? Because where everybody else is fighting for your heart, God is the one that really wants your heart.
Right.
Yes.
That's
So
what's
I'm
up.
praying
That's
that the
what's
Lord
up.
will heal you and deliver you and keep you in all of his ways, that you will fulfill your destiny and fulfill your purpose that God has assigned for your life, that you will do it exceedingly and abundantly more than you can even ask or think, bring you to the epitome, the top of the mountain, or whatever it is that you don't even know that God has for you, but that you would do that. And the only way that you can get there is by confessing with your mouth,
True.
believing in your heart,
Hmm.
and accepting the fact that Jesus died, was buried, and rose again for your sins.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Accept Christ in your heart, right?
Cool.
Good.
I hope you guys, listeners out there, I hope y'all got that because we're gonna play this again too. We're gonna, yeah, because y'all need it. Y'all need
Y'all
it.
Not you need it, but everybody else
No,
need
y'all need
it.
it. Y'all need it. I already got it. Y'all need it. No, I need it too, for sure.
God bless you all. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
having me
Thank
on.
you.
And in honor,
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
want
you.
to acknowledge the release of the blessings from my pastor, Pastor R. Kevin Matthews, and
Okay.
my first lady, Melissa Matthews. Thank you so much for covering and supporting me in all the things that I have, and the speaking engagements. I know that they're always praying and covering me, and so I
Yeah.
just want to acknowledge my pastor and first lady. Thank you so much, and thank you
All
for
right.
having me. I'll come back again.
Great.
Any moment.
Thank
All right,
you.
give it up
We
again
appreciate you. One
for
more time.
Minister Karon Yarborough. Appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Hey, Ron.
All right, we got Karon. I know I'm terrible with. I'm terrible.
Yeah, you're bad with names.
But I got Yarborough right for there.
And look, minister, you got to see, you got tail fuel. Hey, fool, it's 10 o'clock where she is, dog. It's early where you are. It's late.
Hey,
What happened? What happened?
hey,
No, I was telling him
don't pay no attention to
it's
them.
10 o'clock where you are. Them dudes in California, so it's still early for them. Look,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
in
10 o'clock here, and I
I'm in
have
I'm in
homework to
Texas.
finish.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. It's 9 o'clock. Hell, it's past my bedtime. But okay.
All right, man. Let's get into
All right,
history
man.
and blackness. Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
God
Let's
bless.
get into history and blackness with Fat Boy. Let's go, baby. Who we got this week? Who we got this week? Oh, gotta get the intro, dog.
Hey, I get to run the controls today, y'all. All right. All right. Today, history and blackness. We have a great one today. We have Roy L. Clay Sr., often called the Godfather of Silicon Valley. He was a pioneer figure in computer science and an advocate for diversity in technology. Born April 8th, 1929 in Kinloch, Missouri, Clay rose from modest beginnings during the Jim Crow era to become one of the first African Americans to break into the tech industry. After earning a mathematics degree from St. Louis University in 1951, he faced early career discrimination, but eventually gained recognition for his programming expertise. In the 1960s, he joined Hewlett Packard, HP, as a leader in their computer division, where he helped develop the HP 21168, well, a mini computer, an innovation that cemented HP reputation in computing. Beyond his technical achievements, Clay founded Rod L Electronics in 1977, a company specializing in electrical safety testing equipment, and advocated tirelessly for African American representation in Silicon Valley. He also served on the Palo Alto City Council, becoming the first Black member. His numerous accolades include induction into the Silicon Engineer Hall of Fame in 2003. The Roy L. Clay's legacy endures as a testament to resilience, innovation, and the power of inclusion. He passed away November 9th, 2023, leaving behind a transformative impact on both technology and society.
Wow.
Man, when you said that dude, was from Kinloch.
Uh-huh.
Woo!
That's the middle.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Hey, look, them they park on the sidewalks, dog. It's that, man. Kinloch. I was in the army with some homeboys from Kinloch. When I was stationed in Missouri, I went to his crib.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, Kinloch is rough.
Yeah,
That's
In
crazy.
St. Louis, yeah, Kinlock is just St. Louis. Kinlock rough.
So and I was just telling Fat Boy when he brought up this guy's name and everything, I'm glad, that he's digging into the history of our, culture and our people or whatever, because I never had heard from him before.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how a lot of us Black, men and women, has done so much for this country. So much for technology itself, or whatever, where you get a lot of white folks that's taking the credit for, and unless we go back and look at, for our younger generations to know that they can be just as well, good being a engineer, a doctor. You don't have to be a ball player. You don't have to be, in sports or whatever in order to succeed or whatever, and we get it like HBCUs or whatever, of course, give those histories and preach those things as well. But you don't see a lot of shows
see it all the
like
time.
us
doing
do
it every year.
You know what I mean? So I hope this gravitates to a lot of people out there, their families or whatever, to see, whether it's Latino, Black, white, whatever, really, but to understand the history of where you come, or where we all come from, or whatever, to know that we can achieve whatever we want to achieve in this. You know what I'm saying?
I knew who he was because I took data processing in high school.
Yep.
And you already know. And I sold computers for Gateway too for years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah, you remember. I work for Gateway, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
you know what? This is the thing is, Blacklift worked for Computers and Gateway, and I swear he was like a genius at it. I don't know where it went. From now,
where what went?
Like you don't even know nothing like technology wise.
He still work on IT. That's what he said. He was troubleshooting his computer last time.
Yeah, for himself. But you ask him something. Oh, I don't know.
look, dude.
He can do it for himself, but
he gonna try to throw me under the bus because I can't fix his stuff. I'm not there, dude. I can't do it. I'm not there.
There go your leg. There go your leg. There go your leg. I told you.
Always.
That's what we gotta get. We gotta get a bus sound effects for when he throw us in front of the bus.
Exactly. He gonna try to throw me under the bus.
Hey, so
moving ahead.
Yes, but moving to this next topic, man. I hope you guys enjoy this topic because I know is the minister still on.
Oh no, she
I told you, bro. It's 10 o'clock there, man. You gotta stop this.
All right, you guys, let's get into one. I'm gonna hit this video and then we're gonna talk about it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
You ain't got no sound, Fuel.
Still no sound?
No.
No sound.
No sound.
See what I mean? That's Cotton. I know IT, right?
Okay.
I got it up, right?
Yeah, there, cue it up.
No sound.
No sound.
All right. Well, there's no sound. I don't understand whether.
We know who didn't work in IT. That's for shit show.
Exactly. We know who didn't take data processing.
We know who didn't know who Roy L. Clay was. For shit.
Hey.
Where's the video?
Dude, the video, I don't understand why no sound. I can get an echo again, too. Fat Boy, do you even got it?
I got everything how it is. I got everything how it's supposed to be.
Because this is the thing, we hear it in our headsets or whatever.
I think as soon as you start touching, clicking stuff over there, you start messing with our volume over here. Can y'all hear us?
I can hear y'all, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
What happened?
I think I got it. All right.
Can you hear something?
Hello. Nope, volume. Nope.
They froze.
Okie dokie. Well,
Yep, dead air, Phil, dead air.
you still didn't hear that neither, huh?
No.
I don't know what's going on you guys' end. I don't understand.
On our end.
Yeah, because I mean we hear it. We
You
hear it
hear
in
a
the
lot in the
studio.
studio, but I think
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in the studio, but it's not playing
not
on the
playing
screen
on
for everybody else to hear.
everybody to
yeah.
see.
Obviously.
It's just you two in the same room that it's playing for.
But anyway,
Right.
but what we're talking about is would a man choose a hoe over a good woman?
We got to kind of give context around the video.
Give context because Rhonda actually gave so.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give
I
us some
essentially said that a man will leave a hoe. I mean, a man will leave a good woman for a hoe because the hoe don't care about him, and it's easier. Essentially, that's what
No, that is not what it was saying.
No. Dr. Cotton, please help these dudes out. They're killing me.
What it was saying, he was trying to explain why men have a hard time being with a good woman and they will settle for a hoe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
that's what he was saying.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying, essentially.
So basically, what the guy was explaining is why men would prefer to be with a woman that is not a good woman instead of with the one that they are with the good woman, because she requires him to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
She requires him to do things that he necessarily don't want to do. And so instead of being with a good woman, he'll go to somebody else that would just allow him to do whatever he wants to do. Mm-hmm. And so that's what he's talking about in the video. He's talking, yeah. So he's basically saying men will allow themselves to miss out on a good woman to go over here and play with the trick-or-treater. Mm-hmm. You know, the person that doesn't really care. She don't care if you somebody's husband. She don't care if you somebody else's boyfriend. She just being her, doing whatever she wants to do. And this is why when people start trying to say a good woman this, a good woman that, and you know, well, she ain't no good woman. How do you know if she's a good woman if you're not with her? How do you know that? Because you always, because
could that be said though, as I mean, you know, for women as well? Because you have women that go, you know,
yeah, but
what do you call them? What do you call them? Fat boy street guys, you know, the thugs.
Street dude, yep.
You know, you have them that goes for the thugs that instead of having a good guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So let me help you out on both sides.
Okay.
The reason why young women go for the guys in the street that are, you know, your doughboys, those that are doing sometimes things that are illegal, or those that are flashing who have these great jobs as athletes or whatever, because one, a lot of times if you're growing up with low self-esteem with yourself, and the world is teaching you socially that your body is permissible to do whatever, and when somebody is attracted to you and to your stature, that you use that to get what you want because you know that's what they're looking for. But you deal with some other women, and those women that are really trying to stay and be wholesome in their own way and save themselves or be just for one person, they don't want to be exploited. Mm-hmm. I think people get it mixed up that when, because a person looks good, that they're okay with being exploited, or somebody talking about their looks or how their body looks and all that. To me, that's a lot of low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. You get so caught up in the fact that people are always complimenting you, and they're complimenting you on your looks and your outer appearance. They don't even know who you are on the inside. But everything they see on the outside, they like it because it's a package. But when you open the package, a lot of times, again, like I said earlier, it's rotten inside the package. Mm-hmm. You unravel it, ain't nothing in there that you really want. But because the package on the outside looks good, then men will go with that. But you take a woman that is completely covered up. She might have a bun in her hair, but she knows how to cook, clean, take care of a man, do all of these things. If he's not prepared because he ain't ready himself, he ain't gonna go for her. Because he wants the one over here, that the baddie. He wants to be with that because that's appealing to him. The one that's not looking like the baddie is not appealing right now. They don't even become appealing until like later on, maybe. But the thing is this, you got to always, women do what they do because men allow them to, and vice versa. If a woman is going after a guy that has whatever, and he's flaunting it, or he's showboating, or he's using it to trick and get what he wants, he's cool with that. And she's cool with doing what she's doing. But a real man, a masculine man, if he's really honest with himself, he wants a real woman. So he's not going to lean toward the person that's the trick. He's going to lean toward the person that's wholesome, because that's what he wants to deal with. And that will last longer. The trick is going to be here for a trick-or-treating time and keep it moving. If you cannot keep her occupied and do everything that you need to do for her, she's going to be out of here.
This is
Dr. Cotton said a trick-or-treating time.
What's what they said? Mom said, ha ha. What she said?
Not the
trick-or-treater.
But check this out though. And this is, a lot of women have to look out for as well, because like you said, you have women that, that's dressed, covered up nicely, whatever the case may be. But you have guys that's, that will do and say anything just to see you out of those clothes, just to see you, because now they're curious, what I'm saying? They're kind of like, oh, shoot, I bet she got a body under there. You know what I mean? She's covering like that. She must look good. So I'm just saying that to be aware of those that do, feel like, oh, they're covering up or whatever, and they're not, they're doing something to the point where they're not trying to be provocative to the man or whatever. But you have scandalous ass men out here now that basically is on some, man, I gotta see what this under there now.
But you gotta be smart.
I'm a treat her. I'm gonna do this stuff. I'm gonna let her be the man. I'm gonna let her, and they will. That's what.
But you gotta be smart.
That as as a man to to women that are out there, what I'm saying, and taking the advice of being covered up of what else to look at, because sometimes women that does cover up and everything, then they get into a conversation or into a relationship with someone and thinking, oh, well, he wasn't with me for my body. He wasn't with me for what, what's under here. He was with me for my mind. You know what I mean? But that's not always the case in some men. So
you're absolutely right. But the reality is this: the man can't get what you don't give him.
Well, that's absolutely true.
So regardless of how he comes at you, I'm covered up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I may have layers on.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is this: I'm not impressed. If anybody that knows me, when people give me compliments, not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but I tell them I'll tell my parents, because I ain't got nothing to do with it. God put them two jokers together and they had me. I came out looking the way I look, and all I do is try to keep it up because it was given to me. I didn't have nothing to do with this. So you can't give me and love bomb me with compliments all the time, because and you understand a lot of times what's behind the compliment. And just like you were saying, Phil, the guys are scamming and scheming on the women that are covered up. But for them, if they know what they want and they're not going to settle, when you've seen a good man in your life, and you know and understand how a man is supposed to treat you,
right?
Even if you got entertainment purposes only over here with this dude, you're not going to give you up for entertainment.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to last.
Exactly.
So you're entertained, but you're not giving you up just for the entertainment purpose at that moment. You're going to keep doing you. And I think with men and women, when men are looking for, when they're ready to settle, and the same thing with women, when they're ready to settle down, people will settle down and they will start doing the things they need to do to get to know the person. Don't get outside of yourself and start looking at he's driving a nice car. He got a nice house. He got money. Okay, he has all that. But what is it to say that he's going to take what he got and be freely giving it to you when there's no commitment, really? Y'all just together doing whatever you're doing. It's a good time. I call them good time girls and good time guys. It's a good time for all. And that's what you're doing. But when you get ready, and a man or a woman, when you're really ready to settle down and have the right person in your life, then you take your time and you're not even worried about getting to the bed.
Right.
because the bed can be a fleece and jack you up. And when it's not what you want it to be, then you turned off. Guess what you're doing? You going over here to see Jack and Jill instead of staying where you're at. Why? Because now you done tested the waters. The waters was not what you wanted it to be. Now you disappointed. And instead of trying to be real mean and nasty about it, you try to graciously bow out of it. And then, you know, you go to your next. So you got to understand, hey, what is it that you want? But in the video, the guy was just explaining why men would go to the hoe,
right,
instead of leaning towards a good woman. And he has a valid point in what he was saying. So I think we have to always think about, what do I really want? Because everybody on here has been through several relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on here has kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what it's like to live in a household with somebody that when you get to the point and the end of your relationship, you ain't digging each other like you thought you was.
Right.
And so when you separate and go your separate way, there's a lot of attitudes flying. Because some people say, I done sat here and wasted my time with this joker. I could have been doing something else and with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the reality is you thought you had what you had. And then when it doesn't stay, it showed to be that way. Now you mad because you chose. And then the fact that they even accepted, you really mad because they should have said no, then we wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
But it is what it is. So, you know, it's just a thing of just be conscious about when you get ready to do whatever you're going to do. That's why I tell you, I don't date. I'm going to hang out with you because I got to hang out with you to see who you really are. Because you're going to show up being you. And because you may hear several no's from me, you're going to be really mad because you're thinking, why is she telling me no every time I ask her something? Because I need to see how you going to act. Because yes is not going to be my answer all the time.
Right.
But how do you handle the no when you really want something?
Right.
And that's why they sitting there trying to figure out what's underneath the cover, because they really want what they can't see.
True that. Exactly. What I got, fellas? Y'all quiet over there. What's
I'm letting the doc go. Black Lift.
Hey, look, this was an A and B conversation, so I can see my way out.
No,
what
for
you
real.
talking about?
Y'all was getting down with y'all get down.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? For real, hey, fat boy, am I lying?
Yeah,
am I
y'all
lying?
was handling it. I just was,
Look, y'all was handling that. But
Y'all was handling
one thing that Dr. Cotton hit on, number one, and Fat Boy and everybody else, my wife, they know my motto: people only do to you what you allow them to do to you.
Right.
Period.
Right.
End of statement.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, these dudes that are out there doing that, you right. What it comes down to is they don't want to be held. They don't want a good woman, period. They don't want to be held accountable by nobody.
Exactly.
They want to be able to do whatever they want to do, go where they want to go, and just let that be that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll keep it a buck with y'all. When I worked for the railroad and I was on the road, I had some girls, some women that was like that.
Yeah, you was a hoe.
You know what I'm saying? No, stop that.
you
Stop.
see?
You was a hoe.
You see your leg. I seen your leg, Black Lift.
What I'm saying is, but Dr. Cotton, okay, listen, Dr. Cotton, this is for you. So what I was saying is that, yeah, I had a couple of chicks that, look, they just want a little something every once in a while. They ain't want no complications. They ain't want no relationships. They ain't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be held every once in a while.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because then they ain't got to worry about somebody calling them and wondering where they at. And
let me help you out right there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You the out of towner, so you the secret.
Yeah.
Oh, most def.
Because you the secret. Oh, when you show up, they gonna always be ready. But while you're not there, they got a whole lot of other things going on. They got people running in and out. So
I would never be the fool to think I was the only one.
Black Lift said, and I encourage it.
hey, you have my blessing. Hey, do you?
What you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I encourage you. Get your time, because I'm be back to
you.
What you said, that's what you was doing or whatever, and that's the lifestyle that you chose at that point in time or whatever. That's what you wanted to do. At that time, you wasn't looking for a good woman. You were just basically out there doing and being a hoe.
I gotta kind of.
I don't care what you say. You was.
I have to kind of gotta address.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'll take it. Whatever.
I have to kind of address this, y'all.
You was a hoe too. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, and I'm not gonna
That's
listen.
right.
But
Look, you have no problem admitting that.
no,
Yes.
not at all.
No.
I prefer ladies, man.
No,
Yeah.
he's a hoe.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Tell the
Man.
truth. Shame the devil. Yeah, it was ladies, man.
But what they're saying is valid in the sense of, but I think sometimes these clips, the context, right? It's contextual. I think that it's not just because a man doesn't just run away from a woman because she's complicated, right? I think the minister touched on it earlier. He really thirsted for something else. And a lot of times the grown woman or the woman who's the good woman is not. What we looking at? Am I loud? Oh, okay. Just tell them what I was doing. No.
Don't be touching my stuff. Let's go.
I'm over here. Don't be touching my controls.
You see, I went out of camera.
A lot of times, men find safety in the 304 because not just because it's easier, because she's feeding that thirst, right? And so I think that sometimes when these men, when they make these videos, until you address the fact that you're thirsty as a man, you cannot make a contextual statement like that, right? Because what happens is women and other men who lack knowledge in this game will take that and run with it. And what I've learned in the dating world is you have women who experience these kind of men and who have not unpacked the trauma and who will use that to make it more complicated and easier for the hoe to get that man, right? Yeah. Because she feels that we're used to this kind of woman, she's going to set the standard to be this woman and not understand that because I have not made it there yet, there's certain things, not your morals and your moral compass, but there's certain things that you're going to have some grace with me with. So I think that when we have these videos on men and women, we have to check the context in which that we deliver them, because a lot of times we are misinforming because we're giving one side of it. Because I think this was perfect for today, because the key to it, the key reason why a man runs away is because he's thirsty. The key reason why a woman runs away is because they're thirsty and they're seeking for a thirst, and that thirst comes from somewhere within in the inside. So it's not little boy or grown men or grown women or little women, right? It's more about healed people versus unhealed people, right? And until we address it in that context, I think that we could clip things up and we can make it sound the way that we want it to sound. So I wanted to address both sides of it. I think that the brothers were absolutely correct, but I also feel like we have to address the trauma that connects to the wanting to leave, the wanting to run away, because it's not just because there are some grown men, right, who men and do all the things that they're supposed to do and take on these women, and then they cheat on the women because he's still thirsty.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? You're still seeking for something. So I think that we have to address one, what is considered a real man, right? And then two, what is expected of that real man. And then three, how are we implementing that to make sure that it is not done in a malicious way? Because a lot of times when men use certain jargon, it is to manipulate women, and a lot of time it sounds agreeable, but he's only doing it to play the backhand, like Fuel said, and to get in your draws. You know, my brother, rest in peace, we used to always say, I hate them nice beard dudes, because I can tell on your experience with women by the statements that you make.
Yeah.
Right. I can tell that you've never been in a relationship with a woman that puts you in a certain position. Right. So when I speak with Black Lift, I can tell his experience. So
that's good.
His knowledge. Right. But a lot of times these dudes, I just hear you're a red pill dude who really don't get no women, and you're using a nice manicured beard and all that to use this to get women. Because a real man is not going to talk about ego in my table and your table. A real man is going to talk about us and we, right? So when you're talking to me, when I hear when I hear a lot of these clips, I'm always checking them, because I think as men, we have to continue to challenge, one, the male ego, as well as challenge the so-called status of what a man is. I can't
that
hear
was
nothing.
that was that
You're
love.
Hey, huh?
Love that boy.
Man, hey.
That was
You sprinkling, bro. That was deep. That was deep.
that was so. But the thing of it is, what I like that Fat Boy said is that you have to, as a man and a woman, unpack why you're thirsty. Because just like Minister Karon said earlier, the woman at the well, she had 5 husbands. She already drank from 5 different.
Well, come on now, talk to him.
And now she on her 6th. That ain't even her man. So why was she so thirsty? What was it in her that caused her to always go into the position that she was in and the stand she was in to get something that she was really not equipped to have?
Because she never finished any of the 5 relationships she had before.
Never.
And that's why I try to tell people all the time. It's like, look, there's a dude that's trying to talk to one of my daughters right now, right?
Oh God.
And dude still married and his wife is pregnant, but they separated, okay? And all this other stuff. And I'm like, baby girl, don't mess with that man until he finishes his last relationship. You cannot move forward until you finish what is behind you.
I agree.
You can't move forward with shit being pulled behind you.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that, and they still stick with it time and time again. I'm like, baby, finish that. Look, finish your meal before they get dessert, baby.
Come on, you got
finish your plate before you get dessert.
Hey,
we can't do that.
And sometimes
say finish your breakfast. You got
to finish your breakfast. You ain't getting no dessert till you clean your plate.
Yeah, but you know what? Part of the problem is this: that they sit around and this is when you give your cookies away to somebody that's in a bad shape and they're not finished with all of their dessert and their supper, but they over there at your table
trying to get that cookie.
So you got to ask yourself, why am I letting this person come to my table and they ain't finished the table that they're at? And that's something that she has to unpack, because now you start creating emotional soul ties with a person. And then if you get involved intimately, now you got that going. And now guess what? To keep you from leaving, I'm going to say what I need to say to keep you right by my side. Even if I'm not about to let go of the table setting that I already have, I'm going to keep your setting because I want that, because it's what I want right now.
It's never enough.
Right.
But
I want this and that at the same time. And no, you can't have that.
Yeah, but just like you, the second table, there'd be somebody that's the third table.
The third table and the fourth table and the fifth table. Yeah.
So you will never be able to satisfy the dude because he already know you have compromised yourself to settle with him in a way that you should never settle. Because anytime a man knows that you're going to settle with him and he's jacked up and he ain't got his stuff together, he will always bring things to you and allow you to get there and be there and then play on you because he needs you to stay tied to him emotionally. And if I can emotionally control you, then I can emotionally keep you. One thing one of the counselors said, she said,
hold on, I'm sorry to cut you off. Comments. Read that comment for me. Sorry, Dr. Cotton. Read that for me.
It says true. Go ahead, Dr. Cotton.
True, and that sucks. No one wants to be juggled with other situations.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's true. But you know what? People don't realize that a lot of that is abuse.
It is.
A person that's abuse that they're doing. So they're using manipulation to abuse you. And then you end up in a cycle where mentally you start losing it because you done fell for or thought you were in love or you knew you liked him. So you were sacrificing, going through stuff, but not just him, but now you got to deal with his wife. Now you got to deal with your family who's trying to cover you. Now you got to deal with your kids if you got kids, because now they feeling some kind of way because you got this joker over here that ain't my daddy, but you want to with him and he's in the place that somebody else should be in that don't have no ties to nobody.
And another statement that I say all the time, what people don't understand, and this one is just, look, the same way you got a person is the same way you can lose them.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
The same way you got, look, you was hoeing with this dude. So what makes you think he ain't gonna hoe on you? So how you gonna marry a side piece?
How?
You know what I'm saying? I've never understood that. How you gonna marry a side piece? Because you was cheating with them when you was married, and and the other dude was married too. But now y'all both divorced. Now y'all hooked up. What are we doing here? Look, that, like you said, that thirst is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
The same way you got them is gonna be the same way you lose them.
Aziza Berry says a whole lot of unanswered questions and uneasy feelings. Never good.
Exactly. And on that note, you guys, I mean, we running out of time. We
Yeah,
are
we in there.
over time. We out there. But I want to say though, before we get out of here, to our listeners that watched the show today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a time in life where you have to use the pause button.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're going through certain relationships, when you're going through things or whatever, with your, you know, emotions and you know, instead of jumping from one thing right into the next, whatever, push that pause button. You know, take time for yourself, pause and reflect on what you really want and what you need, and the type of people that you are hanging around to keep from going back in that same cycle. You know, keep from going back in that same cycle. So sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to basically pause, you know, and figure out things for who you are. Even I don't care if you 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, you know what I mean? It's still things that you went through life as like you said, being young or whatever, to where it may not just form into where it really need to be for you to pause and think about it so you can go forward and move forward with someone else that you may be interested in, or someone else that you may love or you know, like or whatever. So I want to say that on that note. And then before we get out, what you got, Fat Boy?
Oh man, I just want to thank y'all, man. I thank everybody. Dr. Cotton, I thank Minister Karon, right? I said it right.
Mm-hmm. Karon.
Karon, Black Liv, I love you. Tell Jill welcome home. I'm so happy she's home. Dr. C, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate meeting with like minds every week. It's a beautiful thing. I want to tell y'all happy holidays, man. And once again, dear brothers, dear sisters, I'm gonna start chasing and hunting y'all down. I need a dear brother, dear sister, no longer than a minute, audio or video, and you can tune in and watch it. You're gonna leave it at firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. That's firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. And I truly look forward to it. Matter of fact, next week I'll have us one for sure. And we're gonna make sure we do it every week moving forward. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
What you got, Woody?
Hey, once again, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I want to thank everybody for the prayers for my wife. I really, really felt that. Thank y'all. We glad to be home. Fat Boy, Fuel, Dr. Cotton, love y'all. Everybody that's out there, just everybody tell two people.
Hey, for sure.
And then they tell two people, and they tell two people.
Right.
You know, because we just trying to help the community and just grow this thing to where it needs to be.
That's what's
Cuz Fuel, you already know, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all, and hey, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, man.
Holidays.
All right, Dr. Cotton.
Look,
This is the place to be.
Hey,
Last word. You get the last word.
It is good. It was good. Black Lip, I am so happy you back. Miss Jill, we missed you. Let me tell you something. When you are doing and you where you're supposed to be, things work out.
Yeah.
They work out. It doesn't matter what else is going on in the world. Things work out for you. So if I can say this to anybody, make sure you do you. Don't do nobody else. Just do you.
Exactly.
Because whoever you are, your true authentic self, that's the person that people are going to dig. They're not going to dig nobody else but you.
It's true.
So until next time, be good to yourself, stay true to yourself, take care of yourself, and love yourself.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what I'm talking about, Doc.
And with that said, man, I guess we see y'all next week. And once again, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Mm-hmm. We're all on. We're on everything.
We're on every TikTok.
So you know, yeah. So like Liv said, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? So that's going to do it for us today. Hope to see you guys next Thursday. And I don't know, we might have a guest next Thursday too. I don't know, but I mean, I'm loving the guests we have in now. So, you know, just keep on looking at our social media page and everything, and you know, you'll know what's up. You'll know what's up for the next week. All right, that's what's up. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Y'all already know. We out of here.
And remember, if they talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Hey.
All our illusions will disapparate, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason.